If you've ever been confused about what candlesticks are and how they work, don't worry. By the end of this video, you will understand everything. This is Investor Shares Candlesticks for Dummies. The way that we're going to start this is by telling you a story. But first, let's get some details out of the way. A candle is representative of one period of time. It's made up of four things: the high, the close, the open, and the low. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what all those things mean. So, the candle opens from the previous candle's end point. I want you to remember that for later, okay? In this story, we've got Bitcoin. It's selling currently for $1. I wish. And the time period is 1 hour. So we're telling a 1 hour story for Bitcoin. Let's begin the story. Story takes place in the market. There are two characters, the buyers and the sellers. So, the market opens, Bitcoin is selling for $1. The market begins. The buyers say, Bitcoin, I will buy Bitcoin for $1. The buyers want Bitcoin. They want to buy Bitcoin for $1. They think it's a good price. But the sellers aren't selling because the sellers think that Bitcoin's going to go up in price. So they're holding on to it for a little while. The buyers keep saying, I will buy for $1. I will buy for $1. And 5 minutes goes by. Finally, one of the buyers goes, you know what? I want Bitcoin so bad. I'm willing to pay more. I'm willing to pay $1.10. So he says, I will buy Bitcoin for $1.10. And one of the sellers says, sold. Now the sellers start selling. And this is shown in the green candle. So you can see right here, we have a 1 hour candle. It's been 5 minutes. The candle has moved up from $1 to $1.10. It's green because it's positive. Positive price move up in direction. Green for bullish. Bullish means positive, up in direction, okay? So, the sellers continue to sell Bitcoin at higher and higher prices over the course of the next 25 minutes. The next time, by 5-10 minutes later, they're selling it for $1.20. By 15 minutes, it's selling for $1.50. 20 minutes, it's selling for $1.70, and it continues to go up all the way to $2. The buyers have been buying it so much for the last half hour that the price has gone from $1 to $2, which is why the green candle is showing movement all the way up to $2. But now, it's been half an hour. The buyers are tired. The buyers are getting exhausted, otherwise known as buyer's exhaustion. So, 1 minute goes by, no sale. 2 minutes goes by, it's still at $2. No one's buying, no one's selling. After about 3 minutes, the sellers start to get nervous and they realize maybe Bitcoin isn't worth $2 anymore. We thought it was, but really, we're offering to sell it for $2, but if no one's buying at $2, is that really the price? I mean, you could say your car is worth $1 million. You could shout it from the rooftops, but if no one's going to pay you $1 million for your car, maybe the price of the car is actually whatever people are willing to spend on it. So, the sellers start to realize the price of Bitcoin might have dropped, and we need to sell for less quickly before the next guy does. So someone quickly says, Bitcoin for sale, $1.90. Boom, sold. One of the buyers says, that's a good deal, I'll take it for $1.90. The trade happens and the candle changes in a different way. This time, the candle goes down and forms what's called a wick, a thin bit. So, the wick shows us the highest price Bitcoin sold for. The body, the fat bit, has gone down to $1.90, which shows the price that it's selling at right now. So, the sellers continue to sell, moving the candle down to $1.80, $1.65. Finally, at the end of the hour, the price has moved all the way down to $1.60, and bing, 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 it's the end of the hour. The market closes. So now we have a closing candle price. The candle has printed because it's the end of the hour. The moment the candle prints, the next candle begins where the closing price was for the first candle. So what this means is the opening price of every candle begins at the previous candle's close, and that's why candlestick charts move up and down the way that they do. Okay, so by the time we're done, the candle shows us four things. It tells us a story. The candle shows us that at the beginning of the hour, the fat bit of the candle, the body, the lower part, which you can see here, it's called the open, okay? The opening price was $1. That means at the beginning of the hour, people were buying and selling Bitcoin for $1. The close, the top part of the fat bit, known as the body of the candle, right? You can see where it says close, that's the top part of the fat bit. The close tells us this is how much people were buying and selling Bitcoin for at the end of the hour. The high wick, the top part of the thin bit there, that long thin bit, that's the wick. That shows us this is the most people spent on Bitcoin during the hour. And if there's a low wick, that would show us this is the lowest price that people spent on Bitcoin that hour, okay? It's important to note, if there's a low wick, it just means that the price went down over the course of the hour. It doesn't mean that the entire candle is a negative price move, because the price moved back up over the course of the hour, which is why it closed above $1, making it a bullish candle, green for positive price move up in direction, okay? If the candle had closed below $1, the candle would look like the red one on the right side. But all of the indicators are the same. The high, the open, the close, and the low, they still show a version of a story. Candles tell stories. So what we're going to do next is we're going to discuss the different types of stories that candles can tell. Because when you know the story, you can anticipate where it may go next, and you can use that information to profit.